What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Same old going in the news. Nothing major there. World news. Except for I did see stuff about how the Demon Rats have rigged the California election again. It's not surprising. We all knew that they were going to do it. They're going to keep doing it every time for elections, as long as they keep getting away with it. But that's all the really big news I saw. This week we're going to talk about a couple of trailers I've seen. The first one is the new Matrix 4 trailer. I think it's Matrix Revelations or Revolutions or some shit like that. Or Regenerations or some crap like that. Something like that. So they're pretty much bringing back most of the main characters, except for Lawrence Fishburne. They basically went and turned his character into a younger version. I don't know why they did this. It makes entirely no sense to have everyone come back except for him. It's kind of strange and odd that they did that. But they went and decided to put a younger version, supposedly, of himself in there. Which, again, makes no sense because nobody else looks like a younger version, just his character. No sense whatsoever. But, whatever. For me, the trailer was just, meh. Okay. Whatever. I'll probably watch it, even though it's probably going to suck, honestly. It didn't look that great. It just looked okay. We'll see. But that's my opinion. The second trailer I've seen is based on a series of books which I enjoyed when I was a teenager. I didn't read all of the books. I read probably about to the 5th book because it started getting boring. It was redundant. It was the same crap over and over again. Now, I heard that the last few books was done by a different author, and they completely went a different route with it, but it didn't make it any better, or supposedly it made it worse. I don't know. I never read the last few books. That book is called The Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. Apparently his son took over. I'm thinking it was his son. The rumors were it was his son that took over and did the last few books because he died before he could complete the series. Now the first few books are really good, honestly. I'd say the first 3 books at least were really good. And then the 4th one, it started to decline. The 5th one was just, like, what the fuck, you know? Now, the story of the books all evolves around a character named Rand, who has like this godlike magic power. And he's not supposedly not supposed to. Apparently, only women, they're called Aes Sedai or some shit like that, or Aes Sedai or some crap, is what they're called. They're like female witches. And they control all the magic power. You know, there's a different color or sect for every different type of magic. Like earth is brown or red or something like that, and blue is water or air or something. You get the point. Anyways, the reason why supposedly is that the males typically tend to go insane because they become way too powerful. They gain way too much power. So the women are only, they don't get very powerful. They just get powerful enough to where they don't go insane. So they run all the magic. And they usually kill off any males who end up getting the power. However, the story's based around Rand because Rand is the first male who doesn't go insane. Or supposedly doesn't go insane. Honestly, I think throughout the series it was the women wanted power and control, like feminists. So they were killing off the males because they didn't want males having magic power, because they would be far more powerful than they would. And throughout the series, they're trying to kill Rand off, but it doesn't work. He ends up fighting back and conquering Asadi, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But like I said, I never did finish the series, so I don't know exactly what all happens. But the rest of the story evolves around his friends. He has some friends. 2 of them are females who become Asadi, or whatever they're called. One becomes a king, and the other one, I don't know, he's like a werewolf or something. It's weird. It gets weird. But it's a good series. Now, the TV show, the trailer, looked like it was all about the 2 girls of the group becoming Asadi, or whatever the fuck they're called. And it looked really bad. It looked like it was all about... It looked like they had a lot of feminist crap in it, is what it looked like. You don't see anything in the trailer about Rand, and that's literally the whole story, is Rand, and you don't see any of that in the trailer. So it makes me wonder if that's what they did. They just went a whole feminist route and excluded him for the most part. I mean, he's in it, you can tell he's in it, the character's in there, but it's like the whole trailer is based around the 2 females. So it looks pretty feminist to me. Well, really woke. I don't know. We'll see. I'll check it out. Let you know, but they kind of have me worried with that, because I really like the series, and if they've gone that route, they can go fuck off, because that's not what the series is about. The last trailer I saw, of course, is the one that everybody just started talking about, was the new Hawkeye trailer for the MCU. And it looks like garbage. Oh my god, it looks like garbage. The original Hawkeye, never did he pass the torch to somebody else. Not once. Now, he did take on the name of Ronin for a little while, but that's a whole completely different story. He never passed the buck off to some little teenage female girl. That never happened. Now, in the new comics after 2005, and I'm telling you right now, most comic fans do not consider most of the shit that came after 2000 to be considered what you would call canon. It's a bunch of garbage. Most of the comics that came out after 2000 have been garbage. Because you've had fucking woke, retarded feminist writers writing everything. Anyways, the new Hawkeye that they put out after 2005, I think it was 2005, is when they introduced the teenage Hawkeye, Kate, or Bishop, or whatever the fuck her name is. She's not Hawkeye. Never was, never will be. So the MCU's already screwed up by trying to make her Hawkeye. Because she's not, never will be. It's really woke looking, real feminist cringe. You would think they had learned their lesson by now, that people are tired of that crap. You can have a strong female lead, but she doesn't need to be some fucking badass fucking action fighter every fucking time. That's literally what Hollywood has been putting out. And it's totally unrealistic, because there's very few women who are actually like that, based in reality. So it doesn't work. And I don't know why they keep putting that crap out. Nobody believes in it or cares for it. It's stupid. Anyways, the new Hawkeye is going to fail just like the rest of the MCU. We'll see how that turns out, but I guarantee you it's going to flop. Alright, let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Alright, movie holics. This week is Fantasy Week. Now, I've chosen two fantasy movies that the characters are both based on Robert E. Howard's characters. Everyone pretty much knows who Conan is. Both of these are other characters that he created in a similar world, but not the same world that Conan is from. The first one's kind of offshoot. He was kind of like a Conan, but he went by a different name. The movie is called Kull, the Conqueror, and it was done in 1997. It made about $3.5 million at the box office. It starred Kevin Sorbo and Tia Carrere. Now, basically the story is Kull wants to join what's called the Dragon Army for this particular kingdom of Ashta or some shit like that. I can't remember what the hell the name of the kingdom was called. Anyway, he wants to join the Dragon Army of this kingdom. The king is fighting political crap going on in his kingdom. He kind of goes nuts because everybody's trying to kill him for the throne. Kull ends up walking in on him as he's killing people off, parts of the royal family, and then the king basically tells Kull he's king now, you run the kingdom. Of course, there's those who don't like this idea and wants to take him out, including the demon witch Ashfadasha or some shit like that. the Red Witch, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's Tia's character. So she sides with a couple of royal people of the royal family, what's left of them, and they try to figure a way to kill him off. She's supposed to kill him off by wedding him and then killing him on their wedding night, but it doesn't happen. Kull falls in love with this priest's sister of Varin or some shit like that. There's another god named Varin. He's of the ice or cold, while Ashavasha, the Red Witch, is of the fire and the demons or whatever. She's the bad side, and this Varin or whatever is the good side. So they figured out the only way to kill her is they need Varin's fucking breath or something. And they go to the north to this supposedly ice island or whatever to get the breath. And then they travel back to kill Ashva, whatever, the Red Witch. And they do so. And, you know, they have adventure, action, whatever, throughout the entire movie doing it. But Kull kills the Red Witch, and then they live happily ever after, blah, blah, blah. That's basically the movie. The special effects are, you know, a little cheesy, but they ain't bad for what they are. They were decent. The story wasn't, I didn't think the story was all that bad. It was, you know, it was kind of typical, but at the same time, it was a decent enough story. The acting was decent. Yes, the decent actors in there. Some people don't like Kevin Sorbo as an actor. I think he's okay. He's not the greatest, honestly, but he's a decent actor. Otherwise, it wasn't all that bad a movie. It was a little bit cheesy. I mean, it had 90s cheese in it. It wasn't all that bad. I give it 2 thumbs up. It was a decent fantasy flick for what it was. Check it out if you want. If you like fantasy, you might like it. Maybe not. I don't know. I thought it was all right. It wasn't bad. I give it a solid 3. Moving on. The next is another Robert E. Howard character that he created. It made about $7 million at the box office. And it is called Red Sonja. Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger stars in this with Bridget Nielsen as Red Sonja. Now, Arnold, there was a lot of controversy of whether or not Arnold's character was actually Conan. However, it is not Conan. Some even tried to say, well, Calidor is another name for Conan. No, it's not. It's a completely different character that he plays. He plays a High Lord of Hyboria. And his character is called Calidor. He is not Conan. A lot of them tried to claim, you know, this Conan 3 because he was in it. The director wanted to do another Conan movie. He wanted to do the 3rd Conan movie. Unfortunately, this was an MGM movie and not a Universal Studios movie. And Universal had the rights to Conan. So he had to come up with a different character. So he decided to do Red Sonja, which was also a Robert E. Howard. Now he added Calidor to the story kind of as a replacement for Conan. Even though he wanted him to be Conan, he was not Conan. Completely different character. In the world, Red Sonja's world, and and Conan's world are completely different. They're not from the same world or universe or whatever. Anyways, the story in this one is there's this talisman that grows more and more powerful the more light it absorbs. But if it absorbs too much light, it will, like atomic bombs, several atomic bombs, it will blow up and destroy like half the planet or some shit like that. So, pretty much at the beginning, you find out that there's an evil queen. She wants the talisman to conquer the world. She kills off a bunch of priestess, sorry, that are guarding the talisman, because only females can touch the talisman. If a male touches the talisman, they are instantly vaporized, dead. So males cannot touch the talisman, only females. She goes to the temple, kills all the priests, takes the talisman. Conan is, or sorry, not Conan, Calidor is blocked on his way there. He figures a way around. By the time he arrives, though, it's a little too late. The last of the priests is the sister of Red Sonja. So he takes her to Red Sonja. Red Sonja sees her and then decides to go after the evil queen and the talisman. She tells Calidor she doesn't need his help. She doesn't know who he is. But she tells him she don't need help because she don't trust men for the most part. That doesn't mean she don't like him, she just don't trust him. So she tells Calidor she don't need his help and goes up riding off alone. But Calidor knows better. He's there to destroy the talisman himself. He was supposed to be there at the ceremony, but like I said, he got interrupted. So he follows her and helps her along the way. Now along the way they pick up another guy called Falcon, and he's kind of like the servant of a little prince of this particular kingdom. So they pick them two up along the way. They go to the evil queen's palace, kill her, destroy the talisman, and then escape. And then everyone pretty much goes their separate ways. And then, Calidor and Red Sonja become a couple, and that's the end of the movie. Happy ever after. This movie was pretty cheesy. It really was. Not nearly as good. I don't care what you say. Anyone can argue with me about this, but you will never, no one will ever top Conan the Barbarian. I'm sorry. It literally set the standard for all high fantasy movies. You're just not ever going to top it. Even the sequel, Conan the Destroyer, was pretty cheesy. It didn't quite live up to the bar of the first one. This one was no different. It was kind of cheesy too. 80s flick, late 80s flick, Red Sonja. It had quite a bit of 80s cheese in it. Was it bad? No, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't, super great either, Bridget Nielsen is not a good actor. She's okay. She's just barely passable, to be honest. But the rest of the actors were great. She's just a little. She wasn't. I don't consider her a good actor. So the acting was okay, but the main star, everybody carried the main star. Let me just put it that way. The story wasn't all that bad. You know, it's typical of 80s fantasy movies, you know. There's got to be an evil queen or king that they got to go stop, blah, blah, blah. So, it was decent. Wasn't horrible. You know, overall, I give it a 3. You know, 2 thumbs up. It was good enough to watch. At least once. Anyways, that's my thoughts on those movies. That's all I have for you this week. If you have anything any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you know of any underrated or movies that you think I might never have seen that are actually seem pretty decent, please leave them B-rated movies or cult classics down in the comment section down below, and I will get to reviewing them as soon as I can. Until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you just been told.